Today, we are going to talk about the action film Rise of the Legend from 2014. The film opens in the year 1868 during the late Qing dynasty in the bustling and lawless port city of Guangzhou. The city is a den of corruption, poverty, and organized crime. The primary setting is the Huangpu port, a massive and vital economic hub that is effectively ruled by two warring criminal factions, the Black Tiger Gang and the North Sea Gang. The two groups are locked in a perpetual, bloody conflict for total control of the port's lucrative smuggling and protection rackets. The leader of the Black Tiger Gang is a man known as Lai Gong. He is a cruel, imposing, and utterly merciless crime lord who governs his territory through his patience with his rivals has finally run out, and he is planning a decisive strike to end the North Sea Gang once and for all. The visual narrative begins not with a grand battle, but with the mundane, oppressive reality of life under Lai Gong's rule. The camera pans across a busy marketplace teeming with desperate merchants and wary citizens. A group of Black Tiger thugs, identifiable by their distinct uniforms, are violently shaking down a simple fruit vendor. The merchant, an old man with trembling hands, is terrified and hands over his meager earnings. Suddenly, a young, powerfully built man with a determined gaze steps forward from the crowd. This is Fei. He intervenes with swift, brutal efficiency, dispatching the thugs with a series of devastating martial arts moves that leave the attackers broken on the cobblestones. The crowd gasps and steps back. The merchant is grateful, but Fei is not acting out of simple altruism. This is a calculated performance. His goal is to be noticed. He wants to be recruited by the Black Tiger Gang. Fei demands that the beaten thugs take him directly to their leader, Lai Gong. Upon arriving at the Black Tiger headquarters, a sprawling fortress of a building guarded by heavily armed men, Fei is brought before Lai Gong. He is seated on a raised dais, surrounded by his most trusted lieutenants, known as the Four Tigers. Fei stands his ground, displaying no fear. Lai Gong, intrigued by the young man's audacity and raw power, tests him. He orders his men to attack Fei. A brutal fight ensues, but Fei easily overpowers the guards, demonstrating exceptional fighting skills. Lai Gong is impressed. He sees in Fei a perfect weapon, a loyal dog to unleash upon his enemies. He offers Fei a place in his organization. Fei, seizing the opportunity, accepts the offer. He has achieved the first phase of his secret mission, successfully infiltrating the heart of the Black Tiger Gang. Lai Gong is preoccupied with his most pressing problem, the North Sea Gang. Their leader has been a thorn in his side for the territory dispute is costing him money and lives. Lai Gong explains his plan to Fei. The North Sea Gang operates from a fortified brothel near the docks. Their leader is heavily guarded and rarely leaves the safety of his compound. Lai Gong provides Fei with a squad of his most vicious warriors and gives him one simple, brutal command: kill the North Sea leader. Fei accepts the mission without hesitation. That night, Fei and his squad approach the North Sea headquarters. The attack is a chaotic, bloody assault. Fei leads the charge, cutting through the enemy guards with a ferocity that shocks even his own allies. He battles his way through the main hall. A vicious and grueling duel takes place, filled with blows that could shatter stone. Fei emerges victorious, decapitating his foe and claiming the head as a trophy. Fei returns to Lai Gong and presents the severed head of the North Sea leader as a gift. Lai Gong is ecstatic. He laughs with triumph and claps Fei on the back. This victory cements Fei's position. To reward him and to ensure his total loyalty, Lai Gong publicly performs a ceremony. He declares Fei to be his godson and promotes him to the prestigious rank of a Four Tiger, making him one of the highest-ranking members of the entire criminal organization. Fei is given a luxurious suite, a personal retinue of servants, and complete authority over a segment of the gang's operations. He is now at the right hand of the most powerful crime lord in the city. He is given a new, luxurious life, complete with expensive clothes and the finest food. He also attracts the attention of a beautiful and mysterious courtesan named Orchid, who is one of the prized possessions of the Black Tiger's brothel. Fei seems to have achieved everything a man could want. However, the film's narrative reveals that this is only the surface of a much deeper and more vengeful plan. We are then introduced to a secret world hidden beneath the surface of Fei's brutal new identity. Through a series of flashbacks and covert meetings, we learn the truth. This group is made up of the children, survivors, and victims of the Black Tiger Gang's brutal oppression. Their sole purpose is the complete and total destruction of Lai Gong and his criminal empire. Fei's real name is not simply Fei. He is the heir to a family legacy that was destroyed by the Black Tiger Gang years ago. His rise within the gang has been a meticulously planned, years-long infiltration. The central members of this resistance are Fei's childhood companions, his true family. There is Fiery, a fierce, loyal, and hot-tempered warrior who serves as Fei's right hand and foster brother. He is a man of action and emotion. Then there is Chun, a sharp, strategic, and compassionate woman who acts as the brains of the operation. She is Fiery's love interest, though her heart is deeply devoted to the cause. Fiery and Chun have a complicated, unspoken relationship built on years of shared struggle and survival. The three of them have been working for 5 long years to build their forces, gather intelligence, and infiltrate the Black Tiger Gang, with Fei acting as the principal blade. The film shows their secret meetings in the slums and abandoned temples, where they plan their next moves and mourn the losses they have already suffered. The true story of the film is not Fei's rise to power in the criminal world, but his relentless personal war against the monster who destroyed his past. The orphans have one major problem. They are desperately underfunded. The costs of running a covert resistance, smuggling weapons, and feeding their small army are immense. They need a massive influx of capital to sustain their war against the Black Tiger Gang. After weeks of careful planning and surveillance, they identify a target, one of Li Gong's secret silver vaults. This vault is hidden beneath a seemingly legitimate trading company, a front for the gang's money laundering. The vault is incredibly secure, guarded by a rotating shift of elite Black Tiger soldiers and protected by a complex multi-lock system. The head of security, a former bodyguard to one of the 4 tigers, is the only man who holds this key. The orphans decide they must steal it. The plan is intricate and requires perfect timing. Chun, the strategic mastermind, divides the team into 2 groups. The first group, composed of a few dozen orphans, is tasked with creating a massive diversion. They are to attack a separate, prominent Black Tiger opium den on the opposite side of the city. The idea is to draw away the majority of Li Gong's forces, leaving the vault relatively unguarded. The second group consists of Fei, Chun, and a third, disfigured member of the orphans. This man, whose face is scarred from a previous encounter with the Black Tiger Gang, was once a trusted bodyguard to one of the 4 tigers. He is familiar with the layout of the vault's security and knows the routine of the guards. The night of the operation arrives. The city is plunged into darkness, a storm brewing overhead. The diversion works perfectly. A coordinated attack on the opium den erupts into a massive firefight and explosion, lighting up the night sky. The alarm is raised, and the Black Tiger soldiers are dispatched to the scene, leaving the vault's headquarters only partially manned. Fei and his small team move in. Using a grappling hook, they scale the rear wall of the trading company. Fei executes a silent, brutal takedown, subduing the guard and stealing the heavy iron key from his belt. They then move to the vault door itself. Fei inserts the key and turns the heavy mechanism. With a great groan of metal, the massive door swings open, revealing a breathtaking hoard of silver ingots and gold coins. The orphans work quickly and quietly, loading the precious metals into heavy canvas sacks. They have to be fast. The diversion cannot last forever. They manage to escape with the fortune, disappearing into the city's labyrinthine alleyways just as the first of the Black Tiger patrols returns. The successful heist is a massive financial victory for the orphans. They now have the resources to purchase weapons, pay informants, and feed their army. The stolen silver is also secretly distributed to the poor families in the slums, a symbolic act that strengthens their reputation among the common people. However, the theft does not go unnoticed. Li Gong is a paranoid and intelligent man. He realizes that this was not the work of common street thugs. The vault was too well hidden and too well guarded. Someone with intimate knowledge of his operations was responsible. He convenes his 4 tigers and informs them that there is a rat, a traitor in their midst. He is furious and begins a ruthless investigation. The gang begins to interrogate everyone with access to sensitive information. The pressure is on. Fei and the orphans realize that the heat is becoming too intense. The suspicion has not subsided. Li Gong is determined to find the traitor. Fei knows that to maintain his cover, he must make a terrible sacrifice. He must give Li Gong a scapegoat. The only person who can fulfill this role is someone Li Gong would believe is capable of the betrayal. Fei makes a heart-wrenching decision. He asks his loyal friend and foster brother, Fiery, to take the blame. Fiery is shocked and angry. The two have a tense, emotional conversation. Fei explains that the entire mission, the lives of all the orphans, and the chance to defeat Li Gong depend on his continued presence inside the gang. If they lose Fei, they lose everything. Fiery, a man of deep loyalty and honor, understands the necessity of the sacrifice. He agrees, knowing that he is walking to his certain death. The betrayal is staged. Fei publicly discovers evidence that implicates Fiery in the vault heist. The evidence is planted, and Fei delivers it to Li Gong. Li Gong is furious and orders Fiery to be dragged into the central courtyard. In front of the entire gang, he confronts Fiery. Fiery, playing his part perfectly, does not deny it. He taunts Li Gong and shouts curses at him. Li Gong's rage is uncontrollable. He orders the ultimate punishment. A massive pit is dug, and into it are thrown dozens of ferocious, starving dogs. Fiery is stripped of his weapons and shoved into the pit. The scene is horrifying. The dogs attack Fiery with savage, brutal ferocity. Brutal fury, he fights back, killing several of the beasts with his bare hands, but there are too many. Fei is forced to watch his friend be torn apart. His face is a mask of stone, but his eyes betray the searing agony he feels. He has sacrificed his own brother to maintain his cover. The death of Fiery haunts Fei, adding fuel to his already burning desire for revenge. The plan must continue. With Fiery's sacrifice, the suspicions of the Black Tiger Gang are temporarily quelled. Li Gong is convinced that the traitor has been dealt with and that his organization is now pure. Fei is now more trusted than ever before. He is considered the strongest and most loyal of Li Gong's men, a position he uses to further his plans. The orphans, grieving the loss of their comrade, continue their work, but now they are even more determined. Fei begins to move the final phase of his plan. The ultimate goal is not just to kill Li Gong, but to dismantle the entire structure of his criminal empire, specifically his most evil enterprise, the human trafficking network. Li Gong's most profitable and most vile business is that he maintains a secret slave warehouse warehouse hidden deep within the industrial district of the city. Here, hundreds of kidnapped men, women, and children are held in filthy, overcrowded cages. They are chained, beaten, and starved, awaiting shipment on cargo ships bound for foreign lands. These people are destined to be worked to death as laborers in mines and plantations across the world. Fei has been gathering information on the warehouse for months, mapping out the patrol routes, the guard rotations, and the escape routes. His plan is to free these prisoners and deal a crippling blow to the gang's primary source of income. As the date for the rescue mission draws near, Fei encounters a complication from his past. He is summoned to the brothel by Orchid, the beautiful courtesan who has shown him great interest. He goes to her suite, expecting a romantic encounter, but what he finds is a revelation. Orchid reveals that she is not just a simple courtesan. She is actually his long-lost childhood friend. Her name was once Lily, and she was kidnapped from her home years ago by the Black Tiger gang and forced into a life of servitude. She's been waiting for years for a chance to escape or to see the gang destroyed. She's an agent of the resistance, one of Chun's most valuable spies inside the walls of the brothel. Orchid has been feeding information to the orphans for a long time. She pledges her full support to Fei, offering him crucial details about the inner workings of the slave trade. The night of the rescue operation arrives. The plan is ambitious and dangerous. The orphans, numbering in the hundreds, are mobilized. The attack is divided into two simultaneous fronts. Fei and his primary force of fighters will directly assault the slave warehouse. Their job is to breach the walls, eliminate the guards, and free the prisoners. The second group, led by Chun and her lieutenants, has a different but equally important task. They are to create a massive diversion on the other side of the city. They target the Black Tiger gang's opium dens, which are a primary source of leisure and revenue for the gang. They are to set fires and create as much chaos as possible, hoping to draw away Lai Gong's main fighting force and his personal attention. The assault on the slave warehouse begins in the dead of night. Fei and his team launch a surprise attack, scaling the walls and overpowering the startled guards. The fighting is intense in close quarters. Fei is a whirlwind of destruction, cutting a path through the enemy. His men follow his lead, and they quickly gain control of the interior. They find the cages filled with terrified, emaciated prisoners. Fei and his men break the chains and the locks, freeing the captives. They arm the strong ones and guide them toward the main gate. At the same time, Orchid, who has been stationed on the inside, steals the massive keys to the front gate of the warehouse compound. She unlocks the gate, allowing the masses of freed prisoners to flood out into the streets, creating a tidal wave of humanity that sweeps away the remaining guards. Meanwhile, the diversion on the other side of the city is a massive success. The opium dens are set ablaze, lighting up the night sky with a terrifying orange glow. The explosions and fires cause widespread panic and chaos. As predicted, Lai Gong and his elite guards, including his most trusted lieutenant, a deadly warrior named Wu Long, are drawn away from the slave warehouse to deal with the emergency. The rescue operation is a complete success. Hundreds of innocent people are freed from the grasp of the Black Tiger gang. The loss of the prisoners and the destruction of the opium dens is a catastrophic financial blow to Lai Gong. He has not only lost his merchandise but also his source of revenue and his public image. Lai Gong is consumed with a blind, howling rage. He and his remaining warriors prepare for a final, decisive confrontation. He knows that this rebellion is being led from within. He realizes that someone he trusted, someone he elevated to the rank of Four Tiger, has been orchestrating his downfall. The mask has finally slipped, and Lai Gong knows a war is coming. Meanwhile, the chaos of the night has created a high-stakes chase scene. Wu Long, the vengeful and powerful lieutenant of Lai Gong, is a man driven by... He is the son of the North Sea leader, the man Fei beheaded at the beginning of the film. He has been waiting for his revenge. During the chaos of the rescue, Wu Long catches up with Chun and a group of escaping orphans. He and his men ambush them in a narrow alley. Chun and her fighters are exhausted and overwhelmed. In a brutal and cruel act of revenge, Wu Long personally kills Chun. Her death is swift and devastating. Chun falls a martyr to the cause. The loss of the strategic mind of the orphans is a devastating blow. The city of Guangzhou is in a state of anarchy. Fires still burn on the horizon, casting a smoky haze over the streets. The citizens are terrified and huddled in their homes, afraid to venture out. The two rival forces, the orphans and the remnants of the Black Tiger gang, are on a collision course. The orphans, devastated by the loss of Chun and fueled by grief, want to march on the Black Tiger headquarters and annihilate the gang in a full-scale bloody war. Fei, however, sees a different path. He knows that an all-out war in the streets will cause the deaths of countless innocent civilians. The city will burn, and the people he is trying to save will be caught in the crossfire. He makes a bold decision. Instead of leading his army in a final destructive attack, he decides to confront Li Gong personally in a one-on-one duel to the death. Fei sends a formal challenge to Li Gong. He announces that the fate of the city and the gang will be decided by the two of them in single combat. It is an ancient, honorable tradition. If Li Gong wins, Fei and the orphans will leave Guangzhou forever. If Fei wins, Li Gong must surrender and his empire will be dissolved. Li Gong, arrogant and proud and still believing himself to be the superior fighter, accepts the challenge. He sees this as a way to end the rebellion without losing more of his men and resources. He agrees to meet Fei in the central plaza of the city at dawn. As news of the challenge spreads through the streets. The people of Guangzhou emerge from their homes. They gather at the edges of the square, a massive, silent crowd. They are there to witness the fate of their city. The crowd includes the wealthy, the poor, the elderly, and the young. They all watch with bated breath. Fei arrives at the plaza first. He is alone, wearing simple, dark clothing. He looks tired and injured, but his eyes are full of a deep, cold fire. A few moments later, Li Gong appears from the opposite side of the square. He is a mountain of a man, walking with the swagger of a king who has never been defeated. He is accompanied by his two remaining lieutenants, including the vengeful Wulong. The atmosphere is tense and electric. Fei looks at the crowd, and then at Li Gong. He makes a demand that surprises everyone. He declares that for this fight, no weapons will be allowed. They will not use swords, staffs, or knives. It will be a contest of pure martial skill, a battle of flesh and bone, a test of pure raw strength and technique. Li Gong, with a smirk, agrees. He throws his sword to the ground. The moment is set. This is the moment that will determine the future of the city. The final fight is brutal and breathtaking. The two powerful men go head-to-head in the center of the square. The rain begins to fall, a torrential downpour that soaks the fighters and the onlookers. It becomes a battle of epic proportions, a time of struggle between good and evil. Their bodies crash into each other with earth-shaking force. The sound of their punches and kicks echo off the surrounding buildings. Li Gong is a powerhouse, his strikes heavy and relentless, each one capable of shattering bone. He is the immovable object. Fei is a more fluid and acrobatic fighter, using speed, agility, and precision to try and find a weakness in Li Gong's defenses. He is the unstoppable force. They are evenly matched, two masters of the martial arts locked in a deadly dance. The fight rages across the cobblestones, into the street, and through the mud. He lands several devastating blows that cause Fei to stagger and nearly fall. Fei is getting weaker. His earlier injuries are taking their toll. He is bleeding from his mouth and a cut above his eye. The crowd watches in stunned silence, seeing the young rebel falter. Li Gong, sensing victory, unleashes a barrage of heavy, brutal strikes. Fei is knocked to the ground. He looks up, beaten and broken. It seems the duel is over. But then, Fei's gaze shifts. He looks towards the edge of the crowd, and his eyes fall upon the lifeless body of his friend Chun, which has been laid out on a cart, covered in a white sheet. The memory of her sacrifice, of fiery sacrifice, and of his own parents ignites a fiery sacrifice. He cannot and will not lose. With a roar of pure anguish and fury, Fei summons his last reserves of strength. He rises to his feet, his stance renewed. He changes the rhythm of the fight. He becomes more aggressive, more unpredictable. He unleashes a devastating flurry of blows, his fists and feet moving in a blur of impossible speed. He targets Li Gong's pressure points, wearing down the bigger man's stamina. The tide of the battle turns. Fei lands a series of vicious, powerful strikes that stun Li Gong. The old crime lord, for the first time, looks confused and panicked. Fei does not let up. He unleashes a final, thunderous strike that breaks through Li Gong's defenses, hitting him square in the chest. Li Gong stumbles backward, his face a mask of disbelief. He collapses to the ground, defeated. The duel is over. The crowd erupts in a wave of gasps and murmurs. The legend of Wong Fei-Hung has just been born in the heart of the storm. Li Gong lies on the rain-soaked cobblestones, broken and gasping for air. The fight has left him defeated, but he is still alive. He looks up at Fei, his eyes filled with a mixture of hatred, disbelief, and a flicker of grudging respect. He has been beaten for the first time in his long, brutal life. Li Gong, through the pain, asks the question that has been burning in his mind. He demands to know the young man's true identity. He wants to know the name of the person who has orchestrated his downfall. The mask of Fei, the loyal godson, is gone. In its place is the face of a vengeful son. Fei looks deep into the eyes of his fallen enemy. He does not gloat. There is no triumphant speech. There is only a quiet, cold truth. He tells Li Gong his real name. He is not just Fei, the mercenary. He is Wong Fei-Hung. The name is a symbol, a legend in the making. It is the name his father, a great martial artist and healer, gave him before he was murdered by the Black Tiger Gang, gave him before the name carries the weight of generations, and it is the name of the man who has finally brought justice to Guangzhou. The revelation hits Li Gong like a physical blow. His face contorts in shock. He realizes that the boy he took in, the one he elevated and trusted, was the son of a man he killed many years ago. He sees the face of his victim in the eyes of his conqueror. The irony is complete. He has been defeated by the very ghost of his past sins. Fei, having exacted his vengeance, turns away from Li Gong. He does not need to kill the man now. His victory is complete. The gang is broken, his plans are in ruins, and the city is free. As Fei walks away, the broken Li Gong is left to the mercy of the crowd. The citizens of Guangzhou, who have suffered under his tyranny for decades, move in. Their anger, long suppressed, finally boils over. They tear the defeated crime lord apart. The monster of the Black Tiger Gang is no more. Wulong, the lieutenant who killed Chun, was not present for the duel. He was watching from the shadows, biding biding his time. He sees his master fall and the tide turning. He knows that if Fei is allowed to consolidate his power, his own life is forfeit. Wulong is a survivor, a pragmatist. He does not have the same code of honor as Fei. He wants revenge for his father and for the destruction of his own clan. As the crowd swarms Lai Gong, Wulong makes his move. He sees Fei walking away from the chaos, his back turned. Wulong draws a hidden blade and charges at Fei, aiming to stab him in the back. It is a cowardly, desperate attack. But Fei, even in his exhausted state, possesses incredible reflexes and a keen awareness of his surroundings. He hears the footsteps in the mud, senses the intent, and spins around. Fei catches Wulong's wrist, stopping the blade inches from his face. The two men lock eyes. The struggle is brief, but intense. Wulong is strong, but Fei is fueled by a different kind of power. He remembers Chun's body, the death of his friend. He is not just a machine of vengeance anymore. He is now a leader, a symbol of hope. He lets Wulong go. He tells him to leave and never return. Wulong, clutching his broken arm, slinks away into the shadows, defeated and humiliated. His story is over. The immediate threat is neutralized. Fei walks through the crowd of citizens. They part for him, some bowing, others reaching out to touch him as if he were a holy man. They are in awe of him. He has freed them. He walks over to the cart where Chun's body lies. He looks at her face, peaceful in death. A single tear escapes his eye. He has won, but the cost has been immense. He has lost his brother Fiery and his strategic leader Chun. The price of freedom has been paid in blood. He promises that he will honor their sacrifice by making sure the city is never oppressed again. The rain continues to fall, washing the blood from the streets, washing away the filth of the old regime, and cleaning the slate for a new beginning. The immediate violence is over. The sun begins to rise over the city of Guangzhou, its golden rays piercing through the remnants of the storm clouds. The people of the city are left to survey the damage and the victory. The fires are dying down, the smoke clearing. The streets are littered with the debris of the night's battle and the carcasses of the defeated Black Tiger gang. But there is a palpable sense of hope in the air. The people are no longer afraid to walk the streets. The tyranny that has gripped the city for so long is finally gone. He is not just a man anymore. He is a symbol of resistance and justice. Fei is approached by the remaining elders of the city. They are the merchants and the landowners who have survived by bowing to power. They are terrified and look to him for guidance. They are worried about the future. The port, the lifeblood of the city, is in chaos. The gangs have collapsed. That has left a power vacuum. They ask Fei what happens now. Who will protect them? Fei looks at them, not with contempt. The city will not be ruled by one tyrant or another. It will be governed by one tyrant or another. It will be governed by the people themselves. He looks out at the gathered citizens, the freed prisoners, and his own. He tells the elders that the new law will come from the people, not from a crime lord. He is not stepping up to be the new Lai Gong. His mission was destruction, not to build a new empire. As the sun rises fully, illuminating the city, Fei begins the process of healing. The orphans, now a respected force, start the monumental task of cleaning up the city and tending to the wounded. The people join in, a communal effort of rebuilding. Fei orchestrates the distribution of food and medicine that was hoarded by the Black Tiger gang. He ensures that the freed slaves are given shelter and help to find their families. He is a man of action, moving from group to group, offering words of encouragement and performing small acts of kindness that have been absent from the city for so long. He is the polar opposite of the man he replaced. He embodies justice, not power. The film shows a montage of the city slowly returning to life. Storefronts are reopened, children play in the streets, and the sound of laughter, a sound that has been absent for years, begins to echo through the alleyways. The film then focuses on Fei's future. We see him walking through the city, observing the prosperity he has helped to create. He stops at a small, abandoned medical clinic. This was once his father's clinic, a place where he healed the sick and the poor for free. It was his father's dream to make the city a better place through healing, not violence. Fei has inherited his father's dream. He looks at the building and sees a vision of the future. He will reopen the clinic. He will become a master of martial arts and a healer. He will train students not only to fight but to defend and to heal. He will carry on his father's legacy. The name Wong Fei-Hung will no longer be just a name of a vengeful rebel. It will be the name of a great and benevolent master, a symbol of hope for generations to come. The final scenes of the film show Fei training a new generation of young students in the courtyard of the clinic. He is calm, patient, and wise. He teaches them the principles of martial arts, not just the physical techniques, but the philosophy of honor, discipline, and protecting the weak. The film ends with Fei standing in the doorway of the clinic, looking out at the bustling, peaceful city of Guangzhou. His journey is complete. He has avenged his family and freed his people. He has emerged from the darkness of his past to become the legend he was destined to be. The city is safe. The reign of the criminals is over. The people are free. The legend of Wong Fei-Hung has truly begun, and his story will be told for countless years to come. The screen fades to black as the music swells, leaving the audience with the image of a man who chose to be the light in a world of darkness. His name will become synonymous with heroism, justice, and the unyielding spirit of the people. If you enjoyed this recap, please consider subscribing to the channel for more movie summaries.